When does masculinity become toxic? Acting legend Dame Joan Collins has been an avid supporter of #MeToo, the LGBTQ community, and is a very active feminist. In a recent interview, she lamented the fact that while gender-neutral language has a place, it shouldn't be replacing gender concepts for those who identify with them. She feels that decent men are becoming wary around women. And de facto, she didn't say this, but perhaps in LGBTQ, and said, quote, "Sadly, I think now young men are suffering from being labeled toxically masculine because of the rise of anti-maleness," end quote. Our Hot Topic headline for this week is very apropos. Alexis Colby's Joan Collins challenges us that modern men are suffering from rise of anti-maleness. What do y'all think?
You think all men across the board or LGBTQ plus men?
I think the challenge here is that men are under full attack from within and from without. And they're trying to figure out, what do we do about it?
Well, I think she has a very unique perspective that she brings because, she's been in Hollywood and in the British system for literally decades and decades, even before I was born.
And married 5 husbands.
Five
Husbands,
4, 5.
okay.
But she's a very powerful force. So when she says, if someone, pulled their junk out and showed it to me during an audition, that I'd just kick them in the balls, I believe that she would, because she's a very self-confident person, and she projects that. I mean, she just walked past me one time, and I was like, I peed myself. But she is in a very unique position, but most people don't have the self-awareness and the self-confidence that she has.
What's going on with men? We have at one extreme, we have Tucker Carlson, who is exhibiting toxic masculinity to the point of saying everyone else is wrong except for him, or perhaps should be canceled except for him. White, older male, of what he's doing to women, what he's doing to trans, what he's doing to other men. Then at the other end of the spectrum, we watch the Oscars and watch Will Smith become toxically masculine in laughing at a joke, and you catch him laughing at the joke, that it's no longer funny when his wife rolls her eyes and basically commands the cock of the walk to walk up and slap Chris Rock, and everything in between.
Those are the extremes.
Yeah, they're the extremes, and we have all of these issues of these white Republican old men all over the country and in Tallahassee that are attacking trans, that are attacking students, that are attacking LGBT broadly. It's just masculinity under full display and full attack at the same time.
And we got to see it for 4 years with our president. Like firsthand on TV every single day, disrespecting every kind of woman that there is. He did it, And I have 2 brothers, and they're in their 30s, and they both say that they are afraid to give a woman a compliment. Because they're in that kind of workplace, like they work, one works at a bar and whatever, but that they're afraid to give a woman a compliment because of the #MeToo, because of all the things that women have gone through. He's like, oh, you can't even give a girl a compliment anymore without, I'm like, well, what kind of compliment are you saying? He goes, no, it doesn't matter. Just in essence, women are just not wanting to receive those compliments like they used to. And they have to respect that. Now, I don't think it's all women.
No.
But men don't know what is okay and what's not anymore.
Well, how do we get out of this? Who created the hole that we've fallen into, and how do we get out of the hole that we've fallen into?
Well, I think centuries of masculinity has dug the hole that we are
always dug that hole.
are in.
Yeah.
Well, how do we get out of it?
That's a big job. It's a big undertaking.
We have a television show here to talk about that.
That's, like you said, all those centuries of this toxic.
Parents start teaching your sons how to be better men, how to be better husbands, how to be better friends, how to be better brothers, how to be better co-workers. That is how you get out of it. It's been hundreds of years where men have been able to do what they please and treat women however. I mean, again, since I was about 15 years old, a man has been able to slap my butt and hi, hello, and that's normal and okay. Right. And it's been allowed and never, ever, ever punished. Many men still get away with shit today. Okay, so now the few good men that are out there are afraid to even give a beautiful woman a compliment.
Is there a
hesitant.
difference in that scenario that you've outlined and going to Ramrod and having your dick cupped 5 times in an evening? Is there a difference?
Well, yeah, you went into Ramrod
you go
knowing
there
that you're probably going to get your
for
dick
that,
cupped.
yes,
as
for
opposed
sure.
to.
Oh,
But-
no. No, I just absolutely disagree with that.
Why?
You can't to say you should expect to be sexually
No, I'm
assaulted
not saying-
when you go into a place.
No,
it's
but you know
Ramrod.
that's the culture of that
there's
place.
a
If
hole
you
in
go
the
in there,
place.
you know
Yeah,
that you're going to get grabbed, and you go in there on a Saturday night and you
Ramrod-
can't walk past people. How else are you going to get through? You know everyone's rubbing up against each
John,
other.
there's
a
there's
lot of
holes
other
in
places
the wall
to
at
go.
certain places. You really don't think that that you're
Wait,
there for certain things?
you have a face on your face that 99% of our viewers wouldn't have. It's like, there's holes on the... Yeah!
like you know what's happening
Right.
there. That's why you go there.
Well, okay, but the thing is, though, if you decide to put something through presumed hole, then that's something you've done. But just going to a bar, like I live literally 2 blocks from the Ramrod, and I always joke that I buy my property around my bar habits. But the fact is, it's my neighborhood bar, and I should be able to go there, have a drink on a Saturday evening or a Wednesday morning. They open at 9.
then go-
and not.
And there's- you have
No,
to
but where you're
Bro,
wrong
find
is-
a different bar.
and we're in a
That's-
we're in a
See, I
fortunate.
think that's the problem. Is that we're saying, oh, if you don't like it, don't go there. No, I should be able to go anywhere I want to have a cocktail or a soda or whatever I
But
want.
then it wouldn't be Ramrod. Then it would be Infinity, or it would be Drink, or it would be anything else on the drive.
Right.
You know,
I mean, you
and-
don't grab people at
Hunters,
Johnson's unless the ones you tip.
And there are
Like
men.
There are.
And there are men who think that that's flirting. Tell me, please, boys, tell me that hasn't happened to you. I mean, countless times where it's.
I set this question up because we had extensive conversation. When I came down here, I came to South Florida over and over and over again. When I moved down here for this show, one of the first things we did is we went to Ramrod, and I went to the bathroom and had no idea it was jammed. It was jammed, and all of the people with Happening Out Television Network were outside in the front. I walked from the bathroom to the front door and was touched at least, I'm going to say 3 times, 5 times. It was like reach out and complete touch. And it's not that I didn't like it, but it was, wait, there's not an invitation to do that. And I brought that up of going, everyone's response, I visually remember this visually so clear. Everyone said, well, you're at Ramrod. And that's exactly what your expectation should be. Right. On day one. And it was a surprise to me. Today, if I went to Ramrod, I would not have that reaction because I have that understanding. But I do agree, wait, when did I give up my rights of you touching my dick? Apparently, just being there, I gave up my rights to do that. And everybody told me, you gave up your rights.
You got to guard your penis when you walk around Ramrod, I guess. I mean.
No, I just don't think that there's ever a place, a public place, private clubs, things like that.
So
yeah.
a bathhouse, you can go in there and
Well,
just stand
let me
there.
ask a different
a
question
public bar, or public
related
bar,
to this.
yeah.
Is toxic masculinity among gay men the overt touching that might happen in a bar, like at any bar? We're not picking on any bar. Is that toxic? Is that toxic masculinity?
I think that there's an exception for gays. I mean, you were talking about your brother who's a bartender all the time, and they're sweet, but they're like, oh, here you go. What do you want, baby? The names that we would not say to a server ourselves, I'm sure you wouldn't want your servers subjected to, but it's said all the time in the gay community because I think we think it's okay to do it. I always compliment your outfit, but I also help pick out the clothes, so I feel like I'm okay to do that. But no, I think that we think we're okay to do it because we're not really harming anything because we're not really interested in women. But I think we do it to ourselves and to our fellow LGBTQ when we're at restaurants where, again, they're just working. They're not there to be sexually harassed. They're there to earn a living.
Is there? Go ahead.
No, I would say, take it one point. You're not in a bar. To go over to Faye and say, you look beautiful today. There are times where you just don't want to do it because you don't know how this can be taken. Because I'm not sexualizing. I'm just saying, you look nice. I'm glad you took the time today to brush your hair. I'm talking to you.
Are you talking?
Yeah. I mean,
I feel like that was mocking me. I feel like that comment.
No, it was not. No, it wasn't. But seriously, there are moments where you go to say something nice and you think, I'm not allowed to do that right now. I work with mostly women when I do my travel job, and they're all older than us, and we're old. but I at times feel uncomfortable saying something nice because I don't want it to be misinterpreted as being rude when it's just a compliment.
Isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, opening a car door is like, well, I can open my own car door. I'm like, I'm not, I would open it for you. Well, I wouldn't open it for you. I'd open it for you.
Yes, thank
would.
you.
I was hosting a church event, and the person who introduced me said, you know, the beautiful Faye what, blah, blah, blah. That person who was male got an email.
And he was also blind, by the way.
Oh.
I got a finger for you. Guess which one it is. Anyway, so he got an email from a congregant that was at the event saying, you know, I didn't think it was right for you to introduce Faye by saying beautiful first. You sexualized her by doing that.
No, you didn't.
You don't know this man. He's the sweetest man, and he did not mean it in a sexual way. But why was it received that way from this particular woman? And so now, the next time he introduces me or any woman, he's going to be afraid to do so, right?
That
Right.
story is, I was just listening to Joan Collins tell that story, because that's the exact point that she makes.
Right.
How did we get to this point? Have we overreacted? Has the pendulum swung so far in the other direction that men can't be men anymore? In the gay community, which is the point that you're making, but also broadly of men being men. Men are men. Men are different than women. Why can't we just celebrate that there's a difference in men and women? And as long as we try to understand what the correct boundaries are. And one other thing. In 2015, many people thought that it was an ending moment for a presidential campaign to have on tape, I grabbed her by her pussy and I could do anything because of who I was and who she was. And it's code of the dog whistle of saying, because I'm a powerful, white, rich man, I have privilege, and she's going to literally bow down to the privilege.
Yeah.
And that didn't end a campaign.
no
In fact,
consequences
it
at
got
all.
him elected.
It got him elected.
Yeah.
Got
And
him
the
elected.
pendulum
right.
swung.
And more people like Bill Cosby getting, you know, being put in jail, Epstein, like all these scandals that have come out.
Harvey Weinstein too. I mean,
You know, Harvey Weinstein, all these things. Look, I'm watching Secrets of Playboy. I had no idea that Hugh Hefner was such a disgusting piece of shit.
Disgusting.
I had no idea. Men idolize him to this day, and he raped and drugged women on an everyday basis. We never knew about any of that.
So now we have to make up for all those years. I mean, even going back,
lot of years.
forget about the centuries, just going back to the 50s and 60s with Hugh Hefner, we have to just make up for that. We are alive now, and we're seeing the aftermath.
One related question before we end our hot topic. The gay joke, the overtly sexual gay joke that we make every day, right? Can we agree? We live in the joke. Gay people are funny anyway, or at least one at this table. And everybody processed the joke about
I thought it was obvious, so I didn't say anything.
All right, so we're funny anyway, and we process the joke, and frequently we make the joke a sexual joke. The fact that we do that, especially among gay men, are we contributing to the problem that we have on our sexuality?
We are, and it's hard to break that. We're so used to being that way. Me, I do the same thing. I'm constantly doing sexual jokes, and it's just part of how we talk, you know. And something has to change. We might have to think twice before saying some of those jokes, because we are adding to it.
But we're also then losing our personality because we've sterilized everything. And this goes to corporate America, and a lot of this is the whole HR thing, because you took Mad Men and it was acceptable to touch, abuse, sexualize your secretary, and if you didn't, then you might be gay. You know, I mean, like, you had to do it to
Or she
fit
was
in.
ugly.
Or she was ugly, and she was fat, and she was all these bad things, you know.
Bad things.
But we've sterilized everything so that you can't always put your personality into something because you got to measure everything you say. It's not acceptable. Trying to be at a dinner meal with my niece and my nephew is like horrific, because everything you want to say is, don't say that. Don't, you know,
Filtering everything.
everything.
Quick closing to the hot topic segment here on masculinity. Just in a sentence, your suggestion of what we should do next would be what? Somebody just suggest in a sentence. What should we do now?
I can't believe I'm going to say this. Be like Glenn. Think before you speak.
Exactly. I was going to say the same thing.
The bar is very low.
It's not, Glenn. That is huge.
It is
that
true.
that is amazing that
Take
you
a
do that
pause.
with your niece and nephew. That we all need to take a lesson from that.
Very interesting. I have to tell you, I'm a little surprised that Glenn is the high point of the conversation.
I know.
Right?
Not more surprised than me.
Yeah, right. All right, let's move on. Interesting conversation. We have a lot to talk about masculinity, especially among gay men. When we partner, whether it be tricking or our apps or our relationship, it's two of the same people that women have had to face historically, and we have two in the same relationship. And sometimes, if we're lucky, bad joke, there's three. No, that's a bad joke. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the